follow the protocols. This has been the mantra from the government of St. Lucia in a bid to flatten the COVID-19 numbers. However, while members of the public are held to a standard rigidly enforced by wardens and other agencies, some critics allege there appears to be a lack of consistency.
That's the only threat. The only threat we have is a Prime Minister who travels and comes back and does not go into quarantine. That's the threat the people of St. Lucia face.
Allegations of an unauthorized motorcade landed one campaign manager within the SLP camp in police custody. This stems from concerns that protocols were not observed during a homecoming activity for Micoud North candidate Jeremiah Norbert, an event the SLP insists was spontaneous and not prearranged. Moreover, video footage has surfaced online of a funeral reception in Dennery at which members of the ruling UWP could be seen milling about without proper face coverings and failing to observe mass crowd protocols. Additionally, police officers and wardens have been on camera in skirmishes with alleged COVID-19 protocol breakers. Critics have raised concerns about perceived double standards in the enforcement of protocols and the law. However, the Prime Minister denies that such a disparity exists.
I always try to adhere to the best of my ability to protocols. So if somebody wants to take a picture of me going to the bar, having a drink and pulling down my mask at the bar, I can assure you that there will always be an occasion where you're going to find me doing that. But to say to you that I'm out flaunting and deliberately disobeying the protocols, I don't think that that's the case. I think the most obvious one was when I wore the visor. I had initially been told the visor was sufficient. I did not need to wear the mask. Once the CMO told me that that was not the case, I immediately resolved that issue. So I can say to you, I do not deliberately in any way try to flaunt or create one standard for myself and other standards for everybody else.
Addressing his recent one-day trip to Barbados, which caused a stir and elicited allegations of pandemic rule skirting, the Prime Minister says he was given the all-clear by the Chief Medical Officer.
Got back on an RSS plane and came back. So I went through the protocols, processes with the CMO. I did my PCR test before I left, and I've been vaccinated twice. So again, the places I had the meeting were one place, and all necessary protocols were put in place to accommodate those meetings.
Despite the Prime Minister's explanation, Castries South MP Dr. Ernest Hilaire is not convinced and also has questions for the CMO.
The CMO has no authority under the orders which were tabled in the House of Assembly to waive any requirement in such a manner for anybody. The laws are very clear. The CMO has no authority to waive anything. And the Prime Minister cannot escape with saying that the CMO waived any protocols for him.
As the island stares down another 5 more months of an extended pandemic-related state of emergency, the opposition and concerned citizens argue it is imperative that fair and equal treatment under the law prevails. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.